Hello, everybody. This is Deanna with Food Bank Beautiful. And that's because the food bank is a beautiful thing, not because this is anything to brag about. Okay? So it is Saturday, January 11th, and I am going to bake a cake that I got from a recipe of my dear friend Bumblebee. Bumblebee has been watching me I think since maybe even my very first video, and I just think she is precious. We have made at least one of her recipes, and that was a hamburger lentil soup, and we made that last winter. There might have been one more, but I am not sure. So Bumblebee, this is for you. You are a fabulous rock star, and I appreciate you so much, and I love when I see you in the comments when I post a video. You guys have so many choices of people to watch, and yet some of you show up for me all the time. So thank you. Now, I will put Bumblebee's exact recipe in either on the video itself or in the notes. But I am going to play a little bit with her recipe, and I think that she will forgive me. Bumblebee, how do you feel about forgiveness, sweetheart? All right, so one of the things is that her recipe calls for cooking it in like a cake pan, right? And I want to do something different. I want to bake it in this. That's one thing I want to do. The second thing is her recipe calls for raisins, and Grandma does not like raisins. So at first I thought I would put cranberries in it, and I thought that would be delicious. And then I got an idea. If you've got it, use it, right? Look what I have. If you've watched my recent food bank haul, you'll know that I got a couple of these, and I don't know why I can't use crystallized ginger in place of raisins, especially because we like it. It's a taste that my family really likes. Now, let's see, what was the other thing? Oh, okay. I've got everything else that she said, all the spices, all the ingredients, everything I have. The other thing that I want to do, because I'm feeling a little fancy. Not that I got fancy for you guys, right? Because it appears that I did not. I'm kind of thinking, I might not. I might get this cake mixed up and decide no. But if I don't, I'm kind of thinking about making I don't know why I'm holding up the powdered sugar, a cream cheese filling. And that is usually just cream cheese, sugar, a couple of eggs, and a little bit of vanilla. I'll have to go back and get a recipe for that cream cheese filling that you can put inside cakes. But I'm kind of thinking about putting that in the middle of this. And I think it would be lovely. Bumblebee, are you rolling over yet? The other thing that I'm thinking about doing is just making a simple glaze to go over the top. Just a simple powdered sugar, maybe a tiny bit of lemon in it, glaze. So I have this one. She seems to be okay there. I will be washing, my counters are all cleaned off. She hasn't been on the counters. I have washed my hands since I put her up there, so I have not touched her during this event. Okay? Now, I don't know what she's going to do. I don't know. If she does anything too bad, I'll have to scrap this cake and do it another day. We're going to live adventurously. What else do you guys have to do? Right? In your wildest dreams, did you ever think you'd be sitting down on a weekend with your cup of coffee, watching some crazy old lady with a chicken on her shoulder bake an applesauce cake? I know you didn't. I know it wasn't on your bingo card, but I appreciate it. So let's talk about the ingredients. I'm going to read it directly as she gave it to me. And don't worry about it. I'm going to put it either on the video itself or in the notes. Okay. And then I'll do a second one of the changes that I made. Okay, so you'll have hers and you'll have my adaptation today, which we don't know. It could be a total fail. Oh, I want to show you something. I went into my pantry to get, I think, my applesauce, and I had to move one of my food bank bags, and I found a brown paper bag in there. And I thought, what the fluffy? What is this? Because I had already put my food bank groceries away. And I opened up the baggie, and it was a bag of these lint candy. Okay? I have 5 right there. Yeah. Because they don't fit in the jar that bag filled. So you guys know I've had some doctor's appointments and it has not been funny. I'm going to leave that business to myself. But I had to get on the scale. Big girl almost cried. Yeah. Okay, here we go. You ready? Bumblebee's applesauce cake. It starts out with a half a cup of butter. That is mine. Okay? 2 cups of sugar. Today, that's in my canister right here. Today, that will be mine, although I do have sugar from the food bank. I just haven't put it in this jar. So we could count it as food bank sugar because I could go get it and use it, but I want to use what's in my jar first. So we'll do that. 2 eggs. Look at these. Are those lovely? Those are my chickens. They do their duty. For king and country, baby, they do it. All right, I have some flour. I have some flour that I got at the food bank, and because that is handy and right here under the counter, I will use this and we'll call it food bank flour. Thank you, food bank. We have some baking soda. The baking soda is mine. We have salt. The salt is mine. We have the spices. All the spices are mine. Cinnamon, nutmeg, did I leave them over there? Allspice, cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice. Is that it? Cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice. Okay, we're still good. Oh my God, that was terrifying. Then it's going to call for 1.5 cups of canned applesauce. And we are going to use my very last jar of applesauce that I made back in December. Okay? My uncle wiped me out on my applesauce when he's been here on his visits. He loves it, so usually I send it home with him. But I do have a can from the food bank. This is a fairly common item in my food bank. It might be in yours too. So for most of you, except maybe for the butter, and if you don't have butter and you've got a stick of margarine, use that, okay? Don't be afraid. You probably could use oil, but I don't know. I know you can use oil in carrot cake recipes, so you might be able to use oil in this, but you can make it work. You can find a way. Eggs. My food bank used to be able to give us, not me because I have chickens, but could give us, the people that go through, a dozen eggs pretty much all the time. And then it started being half a dozen, which is fine. Not for me. I don't take the eggs. And then we're down to no eggs. So there's no eggs at our food bank. I am not complaining because my food bank is glorious. So eggs are kind of hit and miss, I think, right? Okay, and then most people have the basics in their cupboards: flour, sugar, salt, soda, and some spices. You probably can get an applesauce. Sometimes you can get raisins at the food bank. I've gotten them before, but I don't have any right now. And even last week, when I went on Thursday, they had bags of pecans, but you had to choose between another item or the pecans. You couldn't take both of them because both of the items were nice. I think it was a variety of chocolate chips, so you had to pick between chocolate chips and nuts. And this time I went for the chocolate chips. Okay, let us begin. I need to go and get my bowl and all of my mixers and that whole 9 yards, and we're going to get this puppy done. Let's see what she says. about the oven. 350 for 45 minutes or till done. Cool in pan and enjoy. You might have to do it a little bit longer because I'm baking it in this bad boy. So we'll see. Okay, one thing for clarification. Her applesauce cake says 2 cups of sugar. It doesn't specify white or brown. I'm kind of assuming it's white, but I am going to go ahead and use brown sugar. And this is brown sugar I made myself, but I do have a backup bag, so I don't think that's going to be 2 cups. Is that what it calls for? Yeah. Okay, still gathering things. Don't worry about this girl. She's perfectly capable. I walk all over the house and she stays on. It's her job to stay on me. It's not my job to look out for her. Actually, it is, but it's her job to, she wants to sit up here. She's got to, I'm not going to pick her up all the time. So there we go. All right, we are ready to start. Let's look down here. Okay. In this bowl, I have a 1/2 cup of butter, and the directions say cream butter, gradually add sugar, creaming till light. Now, I'm not going to keep you guys on the camera for all of this because it's not fun to listen to the beaters, but we'll do a little. I've got my brown sugar right over here, so I'm just going to throw in a handful at a time. Wipe my hands on my clothes all the time. Okay, now you guys, I'm going to come back for you once this is absolutely fluffy and creamy and I have added the eggs. Okay, so when I come back to you, it'll be butter, sugar, and eggs that are in this bowl. Let's look down here. This looks pretty light and fluffy to me. So the next thing that the directions say is sift. Does it say sift? Oh my God. It says sift together dry ingredients, add alternately to creamed mixture with the applesauce. Okay, let me get all that together and I'll come back. Okay, everything is combined into the cake mix right there. Now, I need to decide about this ginger. So off camera, I opened the lid and I took a bite, and I love the spice of ginger. I love the heat. I love it all. But this is a pretty big chunk for, you know, a cake. So I'm going to taste it again. I think that the ginger will overpower the cake. So we are not going to add the ginger. Let me go get my cranberries and see if I like my cranberries in this. All right. I went down the hall and I got my jar of cranberries and I just sampled one, and I think that the cranberries are a better fit for this cake than the ginger. The ginger, I think, like I said earlier, would just overpower the cake. So we are going to throw in 1 cup. I have washed my hands again. You can see why. 1 cup of cranberries. I mean 1/2 cup of cranberries instead of raisins. Now raisins would be delicious, but I just don't have any. So we're going to use what we have. All right, if we look at a recipe and it looks so yummy and we don't have everything, you go look in your cupboards and see what you can substitute. You can do it. You guys can do it. How much pecans, Bumblebee? She says 1/2 cup of chopped pecans. All right, we'll call this 1/2 cup of chopped pecans. All right, let's go ahead and mix that up. Wow. That already looks so yummy. Wow. You know what I should have done? I should have baked it in muffins with that cream cheese center. I don't know. Bumblebee, what do you think? I'm torn now between making this beautiful cake into a bundt cake. I think, is that what you call these? A bundt cake? Or muffins. Let me grab a spoon. I want to taste this. Stay right there. I'm not even going to turn the camera off. No, 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 don't do it. It's got raw eggs in it. Please. Here we go. Mmm. 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 Forget about the cake. The batter is to die for. Now, I'm only making this cake for Addie, Grandma, and I, and the two boys downstairs. They will eat anything. They love baked goods. They do not care if my spoon goes in and out of the batter. Okay? But I just wiped it for you. Let's try again. Mmm. 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 I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and make this in the cake pan because that's our plan. But I am going to make this again maybe next week and make muffins because that is fantastic. Oh my God, that's so good. I wish there's a thing once you're monetized that you can do live, I think, and I would love to do live and have us all get our own ingredients to make the same dish and be on a Zoom call and make our dish together. I would love that. That would be so fun. I don't even know how to do it. I don't even know if I have the skills. Okay. Now, I need to go get a cookbook that has the cream cheese filling that I want. And we're going to make the cream cheese filling because I definitely want that in my bundt cake. All right. I was waiting to see if that camera was going to come on. Okay, let's look down here. I did not find that cookbook and I don't have the patience to hunt around for it. So I just did it myself. How it turns out is how it turns out. We have a brick of cream cheese, 2 handfuls of sugar, so probably a half a cup, 2 fresh eggs, some of my vanilla. I'm almost out. I know I have a jar under the counter, but I don't know the date that I can use it. And some, is that it? Oh, I need a little bit of flour. So I'm going to put in just a little handful of flour. And that should make a nice cream cheese filling. So let me mix this up, and then I'll come back and show you the filling, and then we'll grease our pan, and we'll get that cake in the oven. We got to make Bumblebee proud. All right, Bumblebee? Honey, are you still with us, or are we scaring the crapiola out of you today? I hope not. I hope we're not scaring you. Here we go. Okay. My filling is complete, and I ended up using a second thing of cream cheese and 2 extra handfuls of sugar and a little bit more flour because I'm going to use that same filling in the muffins that I'm going to make maybe next week. It'll freeze and be just fine. So, and also it looks a little on the yellow buttery side, and that's because my chickens lay bright orange egg yolks. Okay, let's look down here. Don't you do it. That chicken. Here is the pan that I want to use. So let's come down here. Let's get you in a good spot, right about there. I'm going to go ahead and spray it with my vegetable oil spray, and I'm going to spray it pretty nicely. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to put in about 2/3 of this cake mix. Probably about right there. Let me see how much I've got left. Oh, a little bit more maybe. Okay. Get that nice and even. Okay. Now I'm going to put in this cream cheese. And this cream cheese I'm just going to dollop around the center of this cake. There we go. And we're going to put just a tiny bit more in there because I have quite a bit. Oh, are you singing? Are you singing? Talking to her, not you guys. I don't know if you guys are singing or not. If you sing like me, tone deaf and out of tune, you're my people. Here we go. So we've got the cream cheese layer in. Now I'm going to gently put in the top covering with the cake mix. Kind of get somewhere it's a little bit sparse. This is such a nice cake for wintertime. It just tastes so comforting. The spices, it's going to be beautiful. I hope. I don't know. I've had some fails for you guys, and maybe this cake was not meant to put in a bundt pan, but we shall see. Okay. Bumblebee's recipe says 45 minutes, but I'm pretty sure with that cream cheese filling, I'm going to have to go closer to an hour, though I am going to check it at the 30-minute mark, well, probably the 45-minute mark, before I say that it needs more time. I just want to get this inside off because a lot of times, you know, that's where stuff likes to stick. We're just going to give that a little quick spray again. Okay, now I'm going to bake it on top of a cookie sheet so that it's easy for me to pull in and pull out. So that is it. Next time I see you, we will have released this cake from the pan, and it'll either be exquisitely beautiful or it will be the shaming event of my week. All right, Bumblebee, I hope you liked this adaptation of your recipe, the cake recipe as you wrote it. The batter is delicious, so I'm so anxious to try this cake. All right, you guys, I'll see you in an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours next week, you know, whenever. All right. Now, before I, you guys, what do you think? Do you think I dropped it on the floor and had to pick it up and put it all back together again? Or do you think it came out okay? I'll give you a minute. What do you think? Crumbled on the floor? Which would, by the way, be an epic fail. Or, came out pretty good. All right. Those of you who think it fell on the floor and crumbled, that did not happen, but anything can happen when I bake. So your guess is a riot. And for those of you who thought it came out okay, it actually did. So here it is. I had the tiniest bit of trouble. I don't know if you can see it. I'll put my finger on it. I don't even think you'll be able to see it. I had a tiny little bit of trouble getting that part out of the pan. Oh my God, is that my nose all over the cake? It is. Like I said, nobody's going to care. Those boys down the hall, they are not going to care. Now the question is, do we put a glaze on top of it or not? Look at that. Oh, and there was a little crumble that came out of the cake and I woofed it. And you know what? It is seriously the best applesauce cake I have ever eaten. It's rich, it's yummy, it's so delicious. We are going to cut into this bad boy. The plate is still warm. Oh my God, it's like this big plate of comfort. It's like this big plate of comfort. You know what? Here's something. Maybe you guys should try to make Bumblebee's cake yourself. Send me some pictures of it and we can make a video about all of your guys' cakes that you made with Bumblebee's recipe. I think I am going to make a glaze. Should I do it online? Do I have a clean dish? Because let's just look. Let's just, okay? I just never feel like doing the dishes when I have other fun things to do, like play with my chicken, visit with grandma, go on a date with my husband, and, whatever. So, let me see. All right, I see something. I am going to make a simple butter and powdered sugar, vanilla and lemon, a little drop of lemon glaze to go on this cake, and then we'll let it cool, and then we're going to eat a piece. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm having a big ass piece of cake. Okay? I don't care what my Dr. Scale said last week. Actually, I do. I care about that immensely. Let's not mess around with that. Okay. So let me make a glaze. We'll get this all pretty, and then we'll sample it because it just looks so yummy. I'm so proud of us. And when I say us, I really do mean us. If I was just sitting home all by myself with nothing to do, I'd have never met Bumblebee. I'd have never made this cake. So I'm pretty happy. Bumblebee, you're a doll, honey. Okay, I do not have a recipe for this, so cross your fingers because that's how we roll. Down here in this little Tupperware, you will see about 4 tablespoons of butter. Here is some powdered sugar that I made, and I think I'm going to sift that. Yeah, let's sift that. Probably about a cup of powdered sugar. And again, my hands are washed. The little chicken is in the room with Grandma now, entertaining Grandma. Grandma's eating lunch. She's eating some pinwheel sandwiches and some Jell-O. Boy, that's lumpy. Now, this is powdered sugar that I made myself. I don't know that I love making my own powdered sugar because I just can't get it as fine as I can buy it in the store. Even when I let my big heavy-duty mixer, blender, just do the job, it just doesn't seem to want to do that. Okay, that's what we're doing out. Now I'm going to use a little bit of milk and a little bit of lemon and a little bit of vanilla. Where's my vanilla? Okay, here's my vanilla. All right, vanilla. Let's look back down here. Okay, I'm not going to use very much, but I'm going to use about that much, about a half a teaspoon. Wow, that smells so good. I'm going to use a little bit of lemon. I think that'll taste really fresh on the cake. And the tiniest little pinch of milk. And let's see what that consistency looks like. That's perfect. Let me come right back. Okay, I am still working on this glaze or frosting. It did need some more powdered sugar, so I sifted and added more powdered sugar. But I also had a little tiny bit of whipped cream, not whipped cream, whipped cream cheese in my refrigerator. And I decided to see if I can use that up in here. So let me stir that up and then we'll be back. Okay, the glaze is made and I have made the most terrific mess on the counter. Let's just help you feel good again about yourselves. There we go. All right, so I am going to, it's more of a frosting than a glaze. And I'm going to go ahead and get this on the cake. Now I'm going to leave a portion of this cake unfrosted because my husband does not like frosting and we're going to need the help eating this cake. So we will do this part. Come on down. All right, and I don't know what this is going to look like, so, you know. And whatever frosting I have left, I'll just save it for those muffins. Muffins. Muffins, my rear endy. We know it's cake. Okay, I think we're going to call it good. I think we did it. That's what it looks like. And then there's my husband's little naked section. Naked as Jaybird. Let me grab a plate. All right. I want to show you my husband's piece. Because didn't that come out pretty on the inside? This cake feels nice and moist. So let me go give him his, and then we'll sample, and then I'll give Grandma's hers. Bon appetit, you lovelies. Let's see what we got. I'm going to taste the marbling part. Mm-hmm. This cake is so moist. Mm-hmm. The pecans in it are beautiful. Let me grab a bite of the cranberry. Oh, this is a big bite. Be afraid. Mm. The cranberries are delicious. If I'd have done that ginger, I think we'd have been disappointed. I think it would be too much for this cake. This cake is beautiful. Mm. I'm going to eat the whole thing. Mostly now I just want to taste that frosting. Let's take a look at that. Mm-hmm. That worked beautifully. Now, again, let's take a look at the inside. Can you guys see how moist and beautiful that is on the inside? That is all Bumblebee's recipe. I didn't mess with that at all. The only thing I did as far as her cake batter is I added the filling, cream cheese filling, and I put in brown sugar instead of white. I think that's all the changes that I made. This cake does not need the inside filling. It is absolutely delicious. So I think you guys ought to give it a try. Go look in your pantry, see what you have, and if you have the ingredients to make this cake, make it. So Bumblebee, I want to say thank you so much. This recipe was to die for. I absolutely love it. It's a 10 out of 10 easy. And thank you for sharing with us because it really was quite delicious. All right. To you all, have a lovely day, and I will see you next time. All right. Ta-ta. Still eating. I asked my husband off camera if he liked the cake, and he said, I love it. And I said, seriously? And he goes, yeah, I love this cake. Bumblebee. My husband loves the cake. All right. Ta-ta.